Welcome back, everybody, to the Unpolished podcast. It's been a while. I'm going to be honest. We had a small little flood. We actually had a pipe burst down here, and it's been a mess. Alex just cleaned it up while I'm sitting here with my guest that we've talked about so many times doing this, like ever since we had the AM podcast. Do you remember that one?
It's different? Yeah.
So we had the AM podcasts, and that was during COVID.
Oh, this is Unpolished, yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, real quick, I wanted to say if you are possibly looking to change insurance companies or if you're looking for coverage from someone else, I have a guy that I've been using since our first home purchase, and he's been with us for our following 4 purchases, our rental properties, our auto. We use him for everything, and he's been absolutely amazing. I love this sponsor because I've used them just so much. We had a claim the other day. I didn't have to lift a finger. I was in the middle of getting pulled over. I could not find my ID or my insurance cards, and I texted Phil, and he texted me back within minutes and sent me all my insurance for my car. I mean, this guy is awesome. He shops us out every year. He takes care of us. So if you are shopping or if you're interested in getting quotes from another insurance company, I highly, highly, highly recommend Phil Pace and Pace Insurance. So go check them out.
This episode is brought to you by Kissed by Fire Barbecue. Like I've told you in the past, I would not advertise or partner with anyone unless I truly believe in their product or their service. And Dave Glomp and his family, I've trained his family, I've trained his daughter, I've trained his son. Actually, now Dave is training, which is amazing. I've only been in his ear for 8 years now for getting in the gym with me, but I'm happy to see him in the gym. He's an awesome guy, awesome family. Their values align with us. Not to mention the mac and cheese, the barbecue, everything that this guy serves is so freaking good. So if you ever get a chance to hire a food truck, Kissed by Fire Barbecue is 100% the way to go. It was the AM podcast. And we talked about doing it, and that was before Alex's time, and it blew up, and I didn't even know that it blew up. It was getting like thousands of downloads because it was COVID, and then COVID stopped abruptly, and I went back to the gym, and I'm like, man, I should have kept that going, and then met Alex, and now it's Unpolished. But awesome. That's when we were hiding in my gym together.
That was great. That was one of my favorite times ever.
I remember the text I got from you. You're like, hey, I know you're still working out.
I need a gym. You're like 6 o'clock every day. I thought, yes, I am in. I am in.
That was such a weird time, man.
Yeah, but your gym made it doable. I mean, you're right up the street. I woke up, ate my stuff, went to you. It was great. You had a stair climber.
So how do you feel about promoting killing your grandmother, though? Because you were going to.
I'm like, wait a second.
You weren't listening to the restrictions, Mark.
Grandma's already dead. Sorry. Grandma Margie. And what an angel. My grandma... I'm telling you, my grandparents were the best people ever. I miss them dearly every day. And if I talked about my grandpa too long now, I'd probably tear up. If there is a God, I'm sure there is everybody that believes in God. My grandma Margie is sitting next to him, doing something important, and he's asking her for advice. 100%.
That's awesome.
I love grandma.
Yeah, my grandma... I'm horrible with dates, but she recently passed away too. And God, she was just such a beautiful soul.
Did the boys meet her?
No.
Darn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that if I could force anything, go be Superman, spin the world backwards in reverse time. Yeah. I would love to have had the boys meet my grandparents.
Yeah. I did a podcast with my grandpa.
You're kidding?
No. That was when it was the AM podcast.
How old was he when you did it?
So he's still alive.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so he's 91.
Is he really?
Yeah, I just recently saw him.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a weird, every time I see him, I'm like, oh, God, is this the last time? Oh, God, is this the last time? And, I don't know when the last time's going to be, so I'm just going to see him when I can.
Yeah.
And,
oh, yeah.
But we did a podcast, and I love that I have it because now when the boys can understand more than just car and dinosaur and
Yes.
food, give
They'll-
me food,
They'll
run
they'll
around,
have
fall,
that
hit
forever.
face. Yeah.
Yes, they'll have that forever.
Yeah.
I love that stuff, man.
Yeah. How did so one thing I love about doing podcasts is that it's way more intimate and it's an opportunity to ask questions that I would never ask you otherwise. So I would like to start by asking how did you grow up? Like what was your
I grew up in Ohio, rural Ohio.
a little
Not
bit closer to your mic, by the way. Yeah.
rural Ohio. Not country, but we weren't far from Amish, Pennsylvania. I mean, if you went down, 30 minutes south, you would get into that kind of area and land.
So were you on a farm?
No, but my uncle had a farm behind us. So my grandfather, he was originally in like the main part of town, Boardman, Ohio. He came back from the war, World War II. Him and all of his brothers were in the war. Grandpa flew the P-38 bomber over Burma, over the Himalayas in the Burma-China affair. Multiple, just all the time. That was, he was a radio operator. He was dropped out of school at the age of 7, became hauled ice on a truck drawn by a horse and delivered blocks of ice and made like pennies a week or something. He would tell me about it all the time. And he dropped out of school, had to do that, got himself a GED, taught himself electronics, became an electronic guy.
Electronic for what?
Radios and television.
Okay.
So
because I was going to say it was a very different time.
He sold and repaired that, and he worked for this man. He went to war, came back, worked for that man for a little bit longer, and then told that guy, I'm going to open up my own business. And that guy gave my grandfather a couple TVs and a couple radios to start his own business with. I mean, what a different time when, that would happen. And he was going to open up right down the road. Anyways, Grandpa did that, made a business out of that for himself, had a little shop right in the house that he built with his hands with my grandma, Margie, and his uncle and his brother and his wife, my Aunt Louise. And they built a house out of brick and made a life right there.
Margie used brick.
Grandma did anything. She was quite a lady. And so they built a house, had a shop right there. He eventually got closer to retirement, saved up some money, bought about 20 some acres out in the country.
Was that like $5 back then?
Probably. My dad was in Vietnam. He got done with the war down in Louisiana. That's where I was born. Moved back. My grandpa gave mom and dad a few acres right next to him. So we shared a driveway. You made a left into grandpa's house, made a right into our. And it was this big, really beautiful. I didn't even realize it growing up, like how really sort of picturesque and beautiful it was. We had a 300-foot driveway, huge front yard, lake in the back that Grandpa stocked with fish. I mean, I look back and I think, boy, he really knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. That was not by accident. He did it on purpose. And then he gave my mom and dad a place there to live. So basically, he was probably thinking, if I give them land right there, then my grandkids are going to be right next to me. And I think, wow, Grandpa, my
genius.
God. Yeah. So then behind him, his sister, my Aunt Tilly, and her husband had
you guys have like a little commune.
Well, it wasn't like directly now. You had to go through the woods. My brother and I would ride our dirt bikes.
That's even
through
better
it.
though.
It was very
because
cool.
You don't want to be next door to your
No.
You know, like there's a
was
point where
huge.
you're like, okay, I've had enough of my family.
Oh yeah, and it
You
wasn't
know?
even that like close or daily or anything. He had a great big dairy farm back there, and my brother and I would help out on the farm sometimes. Most of the time, we'd just drive our motorcycles back there and go hang out with my cousin Scott on the farm and just goof off, But there were cows. We got to go into the pasture. My Uncle Dave would have us help with things now and again. It was really neat. So I grew up there, not in a residential area like what we're like you right now, or even me. But some of my friends did that lived closer into town, and I always thought, wow, what a neat spot. They can ride their bikes to their buddy's house. They have a cement driveway. They can bounce a basketball, and they have a basketball hoop. They must be rich because we don't have that out in the country where we live. And I mean, this is what goes through your head when you're a kid. And so that's where I grew up, and it was great. My mom and dad are lovely people. We had a wonderful childhood, my brother and sister and I. And then I moved out here for school.
So you were three kids in the family?
Yeah, I'm the oldest. My brother's 3 years younger than me. My sister's in the middle. And then I moved out here for school. Lombard Chiropractic University. I met Missy there.
Chiropractic University? Like
Yeah.
there's just a chiropractic
Yeah,
university?
right on Roosevelt Road, just a little off of 355. It's the National University of Health Sciences. They have chiropractic school in there, acupuncture, a couple other things. It changed after I've gone.
So hold
after
on,
I've
you're going
gone.
really fast.
Sorry, I told you.
What made you I told you I'm a rambler. Yeah. So what made you want to do chiropractic? Because you also started that in a time where I feel like it's very trendy now. Would you agree?
I guess I don't really think of any. My life is so small. My little circle of Markville is so little. I don't do a whole lot. I go to work, I hang out with the boys. Missy and I enjoy each other's company all the time, and that's it. That's pretty. So like, I don't really look at social media much. I look at Instagram. I follow you. I see all that kind of stuff, but I don't really. When Mason says something's trending, I never have any idea. But when I started chiropractic, now that was 21, 22, 3 years ago. I really didn't think of it back then. I knew I wanted to be, from a young age, a doctor. I always thought being a doctor would be very, very neat. I wanted to understand the body. And then as I started going through school, especially undergrad, I started realizing that I actually enjoy learning what goes wrong with the body more than what happens when it works correctly. And then seeing the symptoms that you do. And I love tying the symptom to what's happening when it's not working
It's like a puzzle.
well. Yes, it's exactly like and I
could see you liking puzzles. Are you a puzzle guy?
am a puzzle guy. We don't
knew
put
it.
together enough, and then because I don't have time. But I love that. So then if you're really looking at becoming some kind of a provider, then you just decide, okay, well, what do I enjoy puzzling the most? What do I enjoy thinking about the most? And I've been lifting weights and exercising and just loving that sort of lifestyle since I was 14. I was going to buy a dirt bike. I bought my weight set instead, and that weight set is still in the basement, and the boys and I in a pinch go down there and rep
Get a
some pumps out right there.
Get a
Yeah,
pump with the
that's
boys.
it, getting a pump. And so that's what led me into chiropractic, and it's been great. It has absolutely been a fantastic, career for me. It still is. It will be. And, Mason is looking at it very seriously now. So I love that. Cause he's both boys, very similar. They love working out. They love, they're getting into the dieting now, and they love the changes and they understand it. I think as they're learning it
I could have told you. Background, I trained both of his boys.
very well, by the way.
I could have told you that Mason was going to absolutely love it. Mason was the dude first to take his shirt off in the way.
Still does.
Still does. He's probably just walking around his underwear at home.
We never wear shirts.
Never.
Mason Madden and I.
I'm underwear. Well, I'm not even underwear. I'm commando. I like shorts. Shorts
yeah.
only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shirtless all the time. And, even Madden, he has his new girlfriend. She's absolutely adorable. And so for the first 2 or 3 times she came over, I'm like, oh shit, I got to put a shirt on, And after that, I'm just like, fuck it.
I remember this one time. So my dad was the same way. He wasn't nearly as in shape as you. He was like a washed up black belt.
Okay.
Still very lethal, but just no cardio anymore. He was a big dude. And I remember because Kelsey, we're high school sweethearts. And
Awesome.
yeah,
Fantastic.
she came over and my dad was in whitey tighties.
Really?
In his office, yeah. Because he was the same way.
I mean,
So that was an interesting. It was. I can't remember if. I feel like she came over on a Saturday morning or something. We were gonna go do something, and my dad was just in his office smoking a cigarette in tighty whities.
and did he run off to put something on?
No.
Oh,
He's just I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I asked Well, no, I don't think I asked permission. I might have asked Missy. I try to run stuff like that by her. Missy, I'm too hot. I'm not going to put a shirt on. She's like, fine.
It's just, I mean, they're in your house.
Yeah. Well,
This is how I am
but
in my
it's
house.
a girl, and I don't have girls, so I'm.
That's true.
It's kind
I don't
of
either.
but it's adorable.
Did you ever want a girl?
I still would like a girl.
Yeah.
That's what's so neat to me about like when Madden has my over. It's fun because there's the girl, and I walk.
There's a girl here.
Yeah, and I walk in the door, and her little Uggs are sitting there, and they're like this long. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, because you.
they're so little.
This is so cute. We
I'm
should
like-
make cookies.
I'm like, Dad, she only has
Your
brown
feminine
ones.
side
We
comes
should get her
out.
some black ones. She's like, Dad, they don't wear black Uggs. I'm like, why? They all wear black leggings. Why are they wearing
Wait,
brown?
Hold on. You had an idea.
What? Is that wrong? to have
You
an
had
idea?
an idea. Oh wait, she has brown Uggs. We should get her black Uggs.
Yes.
Just for what? Like this is like a random present, or her birthday was coming up.
Does it matter?
A little bit, because if you're just thinking about getting a girl
Okay,
random black Uggs,
I think that might have been for a birthday idea. He might
Okay.
have said like, Dad, it's Maya's birthday.
so funny.
God, she's gonna listen to
is
this too.
hilarious.
She's gonna be like, oh my gosh.
A lot of people are gonna listen to this.
Probably like, yeah, I would like some black Uggs. All right, Maya, order them.
All right, so
We were talking about Mason
Yeah.
ripping shirt. Yeah, Mason and Madden love it. Mason's really into it right now. Madden loves it. They're both like they're both learning about eating. That's really what does it because you
which
know,
is hilarious because I've taught them this so
oh
many
my
times
gosh.
over.
Well, they get older, they try things, and the eating's the hardest part. Madden has really developed his eating lately, and he has put on some size. His shoulders and his arms look great. He's always like, Dad, my shirt don't fit tight. I'm like, dude, you look fantastic. I look at you from the back. Your back has layers, his traps stick out. His arms are long and lean. His triceps, he has short head triceps or long, like the long tendon triceps. We're always complaining about that, because
they don't pop as much.
Yeah, they don't fill
yeah.
our shirts, and we're always whining about that. But okay, first world problems, right?
Yeah.
We're looking in the microwave. The microwave has a great spot to just stand
the
there.
car. The car.
Well, but it's too hot in the garage to stand.
No, but like when you get out the car, you're going to the grocery store. You're like, hey, what's up?
Man, the boys and I, as far as we're concerned, a paper plate reflects enough to get a good look at ourselves.
I always joke. Well, it's not a joke. I make it like a joke, but like I'll catch someone checking them because we got like 3 mirrors at TNT. I'm like, you checking yourself out? And they'll be
Yeah.
like, no. I'll be like, dude, I check myself out every morning.
Every day. That's why we
You
put
check
mirrors
yourself.
there.
That's why you do this.
Yeah. What?
You don't buy a Lamborghini or work really hard and buy a Lamborghini for it to sit in your garage.
Huh.
I just told Barb this the other day. Barb was like, "Are you?" Because I was working out at the same time. One of my clients.
Oh, okay.
She's like, "Are you trying to show off your legs right now?" I'm like, "Absolutely." You noticed them,
Were you
didn't you?
looking at them?
Yeah. Were you looking? How do they look?
Why do you have some short
Can't
shorts?
I
walk
worked my
past
whole
a
life.
mirror and not flex.
Yeah.
If I walk past the mirror, I'm like,
It's the whole point of the working out. And that's what I just told someone today, actually. We have a new family signing up. And I'm like, I think working out is great. It has many physical benefits. But the best benefit for a young man is he's going to walk around like he's the shit.
This could take way more than 90 minutes. The
We'll
mental,
have like a second episode.
That's great. We could do it tomorrow. You're right. You couldn't be more right. And we could walk that line 100 different ways. But when you train, not only do you feel good, you feel as a boy. Every single boy in the world wants gigantic arms and shoulders hanging out of his shirt. If he tells you he doesn't, he's lying, okay? That's why they make superheroes look like Skeletor, okay, and not Caillou, that little blonde, that little dweeby. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, that's okay. That's why Skeletor looks like that, and why He-Man looks like that.
This was going to be a large part of a conversation. I knew that.
Oh my God, that's why the superheroes look like that. So when a boy wants to do that and he starts to get a glimpse of what he can do, he wants to do it even more. And then that leads into the eating, if they're of the appropriate age. My brother and I talk about it all the time. My brother is exactly like me. He's 3 years younger than me. We look almost identical now that I'm shaving my head just like him. And he's a little smaller. He's a little more cardio, a little less weight training, but essentially we look the same. And I love my brother. But we talk about this all the time. And when you train like that, the more you train, the more you want to get better at it. Getting better at it is eating. And when you see the results, now you see what you can do if you put forth an effort. And the effort is not only training, but it's eating. And then if you really apply that to just about anything, you could apply that to your career. You could apply that same thing to your wife and being a good husband, a good dad, a good brother, a good boyfriend, a good worker, employee, whatever. You can apply it to everything.
Sports and weight room, I think, are two really easy things that teach so many life principles to our young kids.
100%.
The weight room, honestly, probably teaches a little bit more.
I think
because
the
it
weight
requires
room yes. I would give it almost the highest because, okay, on the base, you can...
The right weight room.
Yes. Oh,
because
yeah,
there are
yeah,
wrong
yeah,
weight
yeah,
rooms.
yeah.
There are really toxic
I just
ones.
mean,
There are...
the weight room is so individual. You have to really want it. You know, if you have a scheduled team practice today with your whatever team, you're going to show up there because coach is going to get pissed if you don't go. If you want to go train today and you don't go, nobody's getting pissed. Nobody is going to call you up or text you and yell at you, why aren't you here? No one's going to ask you, why didn't you show up on time? It is up to you to get to the gym. It is up to you to either wake up early or go later when you're tired. I don't care. But if you don't go, nobody's going to really hold you accountable for it except for yourself. I mean, and everybody knows this, but not everybody is willing to really put forth the effort. And when young people do, they realize what that can do for them. And then, honestly, the right person then takes that and just goes with it. And then things that seem hard are really not. And I mean, you know, look at someone, you know, like our kids growing up. College might seem hard, but it's really not. You're just sitting down and you're studying, you know. Training is very hard. It's probably one of the hardest things to do. You're tired. You don't want to get up, but you're going to wake up and go anyways.
See, I think the training part is extremely easy. I think that's part of my personality, though. And I think...
Because we enjoy it.
Yes, because we enjoy it, for sure. And I recognize that, and I tell people that, like, listen, I understand, like, this sounds different from me. Like, it sounds like, oh, well, it's easy for you. The training part is easy for me. The hard part for me is the consistency aspect. But it's not even that hard. It's just different for us because we're a little different.
I mean, consistency of training.
Well, the consistency of training and the consistency of eating.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Let's separate out those two just for a second. Because when you said that, I was talking to my brother the other day. We talk just about every single morning. I'm leaving the gym, and during school time, he's taking his kids to school. So I get to call them, and I get to chit-chat with them. They still live back in Ohio. So I get to chit-chat with little Alex and my little nephew, Matthew. And they get all excited, you know, and I'm on speakerphone, and it's a lot of fun for me. But my brother and I were talking the other day, and he's been divorced for a number of years now. He's got a new fiance. She's a beautiful girl, but he's in the wooing process, you know, and he was telling me how it's difficult, like, to be consistent and be 100% with your training and your eating. And I'm, you know, he's starting to get a little, like, you know, Mark, it's so hard. And I'm like, Matt, listen, you're complaining that you're not 110%, okay? Training 3 or 4 days a week is really... You're going to live a long, healthy life, training 3 to 4 days a week, getting 30 minutes or an hour in, and trying to eat well. And by well, I mean limit the sugar, limit the refined carbs, limit the alcohol the best as you can, get some quality protein in, focus on getting good rest. You're going to live a long, healthy life.
Just general, really basic principles.
It's basic. Now, if you want to bump the 3 or 4 days up to 7, go balls to the wall, eat 400 grams of protein a day and just get lean and large, okay, great. But don't get down on yourself because you had some pizza, washed it down with half a beer, okay, on a Friday night. Okay, relax, But you're right. The eating, once you try to get the consistent eating in, yeah, it's difficult, man. You look down at another plate of chicken and rice, you're like, shit. Got to put that down.
Mm-hmm.
God, someone give me some teriyaki sauce.
Yeah.
Mason's on a fat-free ranch kick right now. Just I'm like, Mace, quality protein. Madden, quality protein. Get it in you. I don't care what you dip it in. Just get it in there.
Especially so if you're not trying to get on a stage for bodybuilding and be 2% body fat.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit if you have a little ice cream after your dinner?
Totally.
Especially like your boys. I mean, eat the protein,
Yeah.
get, and I was just telling that family today, I'm like, you guys, everyone always thinks as a trainer I'm going to be like, you can't have sugar, you can't have candy, you can't have, no, you earn that stuff. So if you're working your ass off and you ate your chicken and you're staying dedicated and you're grinding, have that pizza, have that sugar, have that candy.
Honestly, in let's say that ice cream, okay? When you're training and you've been consistent, you've got a nice base, you got some muscle mass, and I don't mean like us, I mean just your normal,
Like us. You hear that, Alex?
Might include it.
Like us.
What
See how you just referred to me?
But when you
We're in the
have
same category.
stop it, when you have muscle mass, that sugar from the ice cream just gets soaked up.
Yeah.
Muscle. It's like a sugar sponge. It just wants to soak up that sugar. That sugar
It won't soak up all of it.
No, but it
the
didn't.
overeating that's the
it
problem.
didn't stand a chance. Well, I mean, when you're eating pretty consistent, but
Yeah,
you
right.
decide to have some ice cream, after dinner,
It's kind of like the refeed, the carb loading stuff.
Yeah, you just muscle's going to soak that up. Not going to sit in the bloodstream. You're not going to get a big insulin response. Everything stays pretty in tune. But that again, like you've earned it. But most people don't realize that muscle mass took care of that ice cream. I mean, okay, now let's be honest. Like a few, 4 or 5 bites. You can't sit there and eat like the whole carton of Halo, guys. They know who I'm talking about.
One thing that I wanted, it came up in my head while we were talking about the consistency too. Not every workout. So when you first start working out, you get the beginner gains, and where a lot of people drop off because they get these initial results, they start to feel tighter. They instead of running 1 lap, they can run 2 laps, no problem. There's a long period of time that's very stagnant. And one thing that I try to tell people and harp on people, and I'm sure you can attest to this because you work out so often, is that not every workout is going to be like, yes. Most of them are going to be like, okay, I did my workout. Whereas like I would say like 20% of my workouts, I'm like, oh yeah, baby. Like that felt good. It felt awesome. I had a high pace. I did what I wanted with the weight. Like I pushed the weight that I wanted. 20%. And then the 80% is like, okay, I did my workout today.
Well, okay. There is no sprint to a finish line. There is no finish line. Some people have a goal. They would like to lose 5 pounds. They would like to lose 10 pounds. They would like to run a half marathon. And all that stuff is great. And goals are great. But the training, like for me personally, I have no real goal. I mean, unless just getting as large and lean as humanly possible.
That was going to be my question for you, yeah.
but that's okay. I'm 52. That's not a. I mean, that
was the age my dad passed away.
Yeah, that's not a realistic goal. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
But there's no finish line. This is, there's so many categories to it. This is one, fun, and pick a way to work out that you enjoy. Like I sometimes the boys will tell me, Matt will say, Dad, I'm gonna go to the gym. Mason, just a little bit ago, he was excited to do some shoulders. The other day he didn't want to go. I forget what day he had. And I'm like, well, just do a different routine. Like do something you want to do. I mean, working out's supposed to be fun. And then he's great. He's like, no, I can't get off my routine, because then I'm gonna throw off my days. And I'm like, I totally get that too, But like, if you enjoy it, that's one thing. And then there's the longevity to it. There's the health span and lifespan aspect of it. I mean, your metabolic disease goes down tremendously every time you go and put resistance through your muscles. Get your heart rate up. I mean, get your VO2 max up. Get it up, and your life expectancy and your metabolic disease get ultimately better with every single workout. Every single workout.
So what is your take on this I'm beautiful no matter what movement that's happening? Well, it's not really happening anymore, but it's already
I
happening.
know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean, okay. The word beautiful. I mean, beauty. Okay, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I mean, anything is beautiful, but not anything is healthy. And if people are offended by that, then
That was beautiful right there.
Yeah.
Anything is beautiful, but not anything is healthy.
Right.
That's a great way to put
and
it.
health is everything. I mean, you can't, okay. I saw a wonderful, going back to Instagram. I mean, it's the shit that I love on it. I saw a great thing the other day, and it was this guy waking up, and it showed him, like running and then lifting some weights. And he's like, so many dads say that they would die for their children. And I'm sitting there eating it's my nighttime meal at 9:00. So I'm sitting there eating chicken, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'd definitely die for my kids. And then he goes, but how many dads would live for their kids? How many dads would wake up and exercise and live for their dreams and preach to their kids to live for their dreams and all this stuff? And I'm like, that's really good. That's really good. Like, I told Missy I want to have children. Okay. Well, okay, as soon as you decide to do that, you don't get to abuse your body with drugs or alcohol or do this or do that. You have just committed yourself to a family,
To a fatherhood.
You don't get to do any of that stuff anymore. And if you choose to do it, you're a loser. Sorry, people. But that's just how I feel. Like, if you want to do all that stuff, then don't have kids, okay? Don't teach them to live that way. Teach them this way. And if you're going to sacrifice some stuff that you might actually want to do to try to teach them the right way, then you do it. Then you do it. I mean, that's...
You know what really bothers me? Worse than just being unhealthy, but being unhealthy and telling your kids to be healthy.
Oh, like most doctors in America right
Yeah.
now.
So now we do this football camp every year, and I'm sure some of them are going to listen to this because it's our favorite thing every year. It's coming up. It's the McHenry Jr. Warrior.
I've seen that
football
on,
camp.
yeah, I've seen it on your posts, yeah.
It's so fun. It's the best. And Alex can probably attest to this because he's been like the videographer, and every year I get like a little sharper with how I poke the parents. I'm like, listen, y'all are out here yelling at your kids, running around, and when they get home, you're like, you got to eat your food, you got to do this, you got to do that. How many of y'all have been working out? And it's like dead silent. And I mean, you see it all the time. You see it on the baseball field where like a fat dad will stand up and be like, come on now, give me your effort. It's like, dude, you can't even walk. And you're going to yell at your kid. Some people have things going on. Maybe like a knee surgery that led to like some weight gain or something like that.
I get it.
But still, not an excuse.
It's not.
Unless you are a quadriplegic and you just had a baby. That's the one excuse I've always given women. If you just had a baby, you don't have to work out for a little bit.
Right. Give your body a little rest, But ultimately, I mean, it just boils down to you have kind of promised to a spouse and any children that you may have had that you're going to do your very best for them. Like, by marrying her, you promised her you were going to do your best. Okay, well, then do your best. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you got to do your best. You got to try hard. Okay, everybody feels like throwing in the towel once in a while. Okay, but just try a little harder. Okay, just try a little harder.
Everybody can try a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's
Even we can try a little bit harder.
surely. Oh my God, yes. But isn't that fun too? Like, I love trying harder. I love waking up and thinking, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna try a little harder today. I'm gonna, I don't know. And it always has to do with like being a dad, being a husband. Work for me is great. I love my job. My day is fantastic with patients. I don't know how lucky I got to do what I do every single day. Sometimes I feel guilty.
We can relate on that too.
Yeah, I feel guilty sometimes because my day is such a piece of cake. Like it's fun. It really is. So I just focus on the other things. Like I
It's
try
good
to,
you recognize that though.
yeah, I try to do my best for Missy. I try to do the best for the boys, and that is just me always trying to do a little better. If I think I did something not quite right yesterday or approached it in the wrong way, okay, I'm going to try to do that a little bit better today. Even like, she's going to giggle when I say this, but like, I love just during the day picking up the phone and like sending Missy a little kissy face on a text. Okay. It doesn't take much, but I was just thinking about her. So now I'm just going to send her a little kissy face, she's probably,
Next one, you should do like an actual selfie. Like,
oh,
you
no,
should do that.
Steve, Jesus.
come on now.
Are you kidding
It's a
me?
new idea. She'll
you're,
laugh.
You're looking.
She'll laugh.
You're looking at this.
I just
like,
gave you
that-
gold. See, now you have to do it too because she's going to hear it and she's going to expect it.
No, she won't. She'd be like, Steve, you're fucking nuts.
You better. You're going to get home. She's going to listen to this. You better not send me that kissy face. I don't want that kissy.
But I know what you mean about, okay. Madden wrote a paper this year for English. He asked, he said, Dad, I'm writing it on diabetes. I said, that's fantastic, And at first I thought, how lucky is he? Like he wrote it about diabetes. Because that's my thing. I just love it. So
What do you mean that's your thing? Like health?
I have
Or
been
diabetes.
completely obsessed with metabolic disease for about the last couple years. And in the last 6 months, it's really like just grown into something big with me. And I can't read enough. I can't listen enough. I can't absorb enough info on it. And it just thrills me. I love the deep physiology of it. I enjoy it a ton. And
Why do you think that is?
one,
Because of the epidemic we have going on right now.
that's definitely a big part of it. I think that it is absolutely the root of all health concerns that we are dealing with. And plus, I love learning about what's happening inside of here. And, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, kidney function, neurocognitive conditions. These are all metabolic, ramifications of poor metabolic disease, insulin resistance, diabetes, call it what you want. It's all the same thing, just different levels of the same problem. And so Matt wrote this paper, and I went to him and I said, Matt, did someone give you diabetes, or did you actually? I think we were going to pick up his tux for prom, and he's driving, of course, and I look over at him and his head's like touching the ceiling, and I'm like, Mad Dog, did you get? Oh yeah, it's Mad Dog. Did you get diabetes? Or did you pick? He goes, looking down. I picked it, Dad. I'm like, awesome. So he wrote this beautiful paper on
No chat GPT?
no, because he showed me how, like that gets, you can, the teacher would know. So he wrote this beautiful paper on it. And at the very end, he wrote about how humans have been around for 5 million years. We've been walking upright onto the savannah for 5 million years. So we have been worried about food, shelter, and protection for 5 million years, okay? For 5 million years. That is what we have been searching for, to make on a daily basis, okay? I think about the crudes, like you remember the crude. I'm sure your boys have watched it, and they're sucking on the egg, and I think superfood. And so then 5,000 years ago, Mesopotamia, comes in place, and they start to gather together, get a little more protection. They make a market, so food's a little bit more available. They start to refine it. And then up until 150 years ago, we're still worried about food, shelter, and protection. Okay. Now we worry about that at all. We don't worry about it at all. We have got that completely. Look, we have beat
Isn't that nice?
nature. You know what I mean? We have one. We don't worry about food. You can get it anywhere you want, you know. We don't
Horrible food.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, though. We don't worry about shelter. Now we just decorate it, okay? And we don't worry about protection in the least because we live in America. That's another topic. And
That's a different. Yeah,
That's
we can
a
go a
whole
lot
other
of ways with that topic too.
But we don't worry about any of those three things, okay? Now we're just making life ultra convenient and nice, okay? So now that we have won and we have crossed the finish line with what we need to worry about, now we're going to kill ourselves with Mountain Dew and Skittles and Goldfish.
McDonald's, man. Every time I drive past McDonald's, I'm floored by the line. It's just so crazy to me
I know.
that people are in the line, and then the line is 20 cars deep at like 3 o'clock.
Yes.
Or like 10 o'clock. It doesn't matter what time of
Doesn't
day.
matter. But that's why you asked me, why is it that I'm so obsessed with it? Because I think that it's so important right now. Like, I mean, of all the things to worry about in the world, that's probably in the next 10 years or less going to be one of the biggest things that we worry about. Because people are going to become more and more and more metabolically unhealthy. The other day I was just thinking to myself, the more we make life convenient, the more our health declines.
What's the movie? Wall-E. Have you seen the movie Wall-E?
I mention Wally at home all the time. I look at Missy and I'm like, look at the captain. He's going to try to walk. But it's so true.
It's so true.
It's so true.
It's a great movie in that regard.
Yeah.
Black Mirror is another scary. Would you watch Black Mirror at all?
That's a series, right?
That's a series.
I started to. I
It's
forget
scary.
why I stopped. Is it like this? I mean,
It's like this in the aspect that it's showing you the deepest, darkest possible negative outcome of technology.
okay.
Where we're kind of talking about like nutrition
Mm-hmm.
and comfort. This one talks about technology. It's crazy. But anyways, I'm taking you off topic.
No. Well, that's why I love it so much. and then the physiology of it. Trying to understand, because there's so many aspects of metabolic disease. Insulin resistance, like in what occurs, as far as what happens at the cellular level, when you become insulin resistant and the buildup of fatty acids and mitochondrial overload. I don't know why it fascinates me, but it just does.
Okay, so here I'm going to do a little turn here. I was just talking to a client about fasting.
Uh-huh.
Do you agree that fasting can be a good avenue for a sort of metabolic reset?
Yes, it can because you're going to, I hear a lot about, and I've read a lot about autophagy stimulation, with fasting. But that's not the only way to stimulate autophagy. Like autophagy is really good, but you don't want to stimulate autophagy too much because that's too much breakdown. I mean, you need to have build up if you're having breakdown.
I think like once a month, a 24-hour fast is good.
I think it's really good, But now if you're already eating like really clean and super healthy, I still think it's good. It's definitely not detrimental, And if you're looking to lose some weight, yeah, absolutely. I mean, take it back to evolution. I think about this a lot too. Go back.
Can I guess what you're about to say?
Sure.
So back in like the caveman days,
Totally. Yeah.
back in like the caveman days, I think it was. I think we're far beyond what we should be doing as a human race, like with the comfort and the technology and the food and the. Anyways, yeah. I think naturally we hunt, we kill a big, four-legged animal, water buffalo. We eat it.
Gorge.
We don't eat for another 24, 48 hours. And if you look into the science of fasting at that 48-hour mark, you get this really big peak in mental acuity.
Ketones. Your brain loves to run on ketone
And
bodies.
I believe that is biology telling me it's time to start looking to hunt again.
That's why we store fat, so that we can make ketone bodies, because the brain actually runs better on ketones than it does glucose. It's just that ketones, the body's meant to run on sugar. It's meant to, but it's meant to run on a mix. And that's what really flares up like metabolic disease, because the more input of food we put into the system of like fats and carbs, the body doesn't know whether it's trying to shift from ketone to glucose or what. And that's really a difficult position for the body. But when you fast or when you just eat meat, of course, you're going to lower insulin, autophagy occurs, all that good stuff. But yes, I think about caveman. That's all he
Was I
could
correct
do.
in my
Yes,
guess?
that's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah.
That's evolution. Like fasting was just part of the day. They didn't say, feeling a little doughy today, I think I'm going to fast for 24 hours.
No, they were ripped all the time.
No,
because
they
they
just-
didn't have chips and
they
they didn't
just
have
said-
convenience stores.
We couldn't find food today. Sorry, honey. We're not going to be able to eat today. And honestly, they probably did that, up until about 150 years ago? I mean, think about it. We're 200 years ago, 1825. Do you think people went days without eating? For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. Now,
Yeah.
they were making bread and stuff like that, you know, but they were still way under calorie and they weren't eating nearly enough and
Well,
definitely not taking in enough protein.
Now that you're scrolling Instagram, have you seen those posts where it'll be like a rolling footage of New York City in like 1920, 1930, and everyone is good looking, skinny,
Oh, yeah.
you know, or like a picture of a beach in like the early 1900s or mid 1900s.
Or even like the 70s?
yeah, even the 70s. And everyone's just shredded and sexy. Everyone. Everyone,
little
dude.
yellow trunks.
And then
on.
you take a picture of now, and
Don't
you take
say
like a
that.
2025, and it's just like 17 beached whales
Steve,
in the sand.
Steve.
It is so bad. And people are like, oh, I'm beautiful. It's like, no, you're fucking fat.
Okay, let's call them heavy. And so it's just they're heavy, metabolically challenged. Okay, okay. Again, beauty. Anything's beautiful, but it's about health. You know, it's about. And I mean, you could say, oh, okay, the Kellogg brothers ruined it because they, gave $1 billion to the government and had them change the food pyramid and then started making cereal the staple of breakfast, and wow, did that stick? I mean, holy smokes, did that stick?
Cereal, I think, is easily worse. It's worse than McDonald's, in my opinion. I think all cereals are horrible, bad for you.
Terrible.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
It's flavored cardboard.
Crunchy and just
It's
awesome.
good. It's so good. What's your favorite cereal?
When I was growing up, peanut butter Captain Crunch. I
Mine
loved it when
was-
it got stuck in your teeth back there.
Yeah, cinnamon toast crunch was
I love
mine,
it all.
and then drink the milk after.
I love
You
it
got
all.
that cinnamon milk.
I mean, we keep, the boys, I don't know if they still do. I mean, those boxes have been in there forever. Honey Nut Cheerios sometimes, But honestly, the boys have dialed it in pretty, I mean, it is nothing for me. They don't even ask me anymore. I mean, Matt will walk up into the fridge, open it up. We have Tupperwares full of chicken breasts. We're on this honey bourbon marinade kick, and we got some salsa chicken over there. And
So you just meal prep your fridge.
yeah. And it's not even meal prep. It's just like protein prep. Like we got Tupperware like this big of 5 pounds of chicken a piece. We got probably 10 or 15 pounds of chicken in the fridge at any like given moment, like getting eaten, and then we just
You
cook
guys
more.
you guys buy cows?
No. I know you're always asking me if I want to buy a cow. I don't eat that much red meat. And it's not that I'm against red meat. It just seems to kind of sit in there a little longer than I want to, and then 3 hours later I got to eat
good, though.
again. I mean,
So good.
yeah, well, I don't cook it like, if I cooked it right that second, it would probably be great. But I'm heating so much of it in the microwave. Like that's a whole
red meat's
nother-
not as good when you heat it up.
No, it's not.
But
no.
but when you put like a fresh chicken breast and a fresh steak next to each other, the steak
the beef
crushes
beef wins
every
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
The
The
but
boys
it's
love
nice.
burgers. Like we cook a lot of burger meat.
Yeah, but even reheating burgers sucks. But a fresh burger is so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do think red meat tastes a lot better. I mean, meal prepped, heating up any protein is just not nearly as good as fresh.
But now we're back to the eating being hard, the consistent eating being hard, and it is. It's not fun. Sometimes I get on Sunday, like I'm so routine. My Sundays are wake up, gym, go grocery shopping. Boys go grocery shopping with me. So last week it was 3 of us cruising through Sam's and Walmart, just, picking out what we want. I'm like, hey guys, if you want a new sauce to like dip your chicken in, look, because the grocery store is fun. You got just all kinds of stuff, And man, it's like, oh my gosh, did they get any, what do you say? Subway mayonnaise. I don't know. I guess that stuff's pretty good. But we go and we shop, and then we come home on Sunday, and we're just, we screw around the house a little bit. And then it gets to be 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's time to cook. And especially in the summertime, I'm like, it's hot. I don't feel like doing it. And we're cooking like 10 pounds of beef, and we're cooking, 10 or 15 pounds of chicken.
Big griller?
No, because the grill will dry it out in the thick parts to not done enough and the small end of a chicken breast. So
What?
you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, you
The
do.
grill is the best thing in the world.
If you're going to eat it right then, didn't we just establish this?
Sort of, but
Like,
oh,
okay, so if you
man.
cook a chicken breast on the grill and you eat it right that second, and all that glistening, shiny shit on the side is all fresh, and yeah, it's awesome.
But I think in regards to meal prep, the grill is the way to go.
no
Ease,
way,
convenience.
oven, for sure, oven.
Oh my God!
I
man.
take the chicken, and now I just get chicken tenderloins. So I chop those up with some scissors into a glass dish. We get the marinade, we pour it all over it, and into the oven it goes. And
I see what you're saying though.
and
like,
I
you could
constantly
dry
am
it out.
checking it, like sticking a little sharp spatula through it, and in the second it slides through and I know it's done, out it comes, right into the refrigerator. Nice and juicy. We can heat that up later.
Yeah, but you get the smoky of the grill. Like I feel like the grill adds so much flavor.
And there's not enough room on the grill.
Oh,
So I already got some burgers
I got a
on
bigger
there.
grill. You got a little
big
grill?
I got a little grill.
Well, you got like a little
It's just a little
it's like a
teeny
little
grill.
griddle. Like what's the George Foreman?
Hey,
Mark's out there
wait,
shirtless.
don't totally shirtless. But no, okay.
One chicken breast at a time.
I did have a George Foreman. Missy and I in school, because we met in school. She was a semester behind me. I would go up to her apartment on campus all the time. This little apartment, it had like yellow metal cabinets. You know what I'm talking about? Vinyl floor throughout the whole thing. And
The
she
stick-on vinyl floor.
totally stick on.
Stick.
And someone didn't get a rock underneath the ones that had that little bump on it,
Yeah.
right? Where you walked every single time. And she had a George Foreman. And I would cook my chicken on her George Foreman all the time at dinner. All the time. In fact, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to say it. The first date that her and I ever went on, I forget what time it started, but mealtime that day was during the movie. Okay? And so
You brought chicken.
what are you laughing at over there? So I brought a chicken in a Ziploc bag and asked her to put it in her purse. And when it was time to eat, I pulled that fucker out and I ate it.
What kind of movie was it?
I don't know.
You don't remember the first date movie?
No.
Wow.
I wonder if
You were
Missy
too
does.
busy eating
Can
the
I
chicken
text
breast.
Missy now and see if she won't remember either. She'll lie.
She will remember.
No, she wouldn't.
Yes, she will.
I'll
She's a
ask her.
girl.
I'll ask her later.
She's
She
gonna
won't.
remember.
It was like
Okay, you need
20
to text her because
25
we'll
years
get an
ago.
answer while we're still on the
okay,
cast.
yeah, that would.
Do you
kinda be
remember-
funny. Okay, wait. She's not gonna remember. Do you remember the first movie that we saw at our first date? When I eat the chicken breast.
We'll see. So just put it to the side. She's totally gonna remember.
No,
She's the
not.
girl.
No, she's definitely not. But no, okay. So I like it in the oven. It lasts longer throughout the week.
Yeah,
That's what I've.
it's a little easier too.
Yeah,
because
it's
the grill
definitely
will. I mean, they'll cook it fast.
Yeah,
But I mean, you can do it right on the grill where it's still juicy. Did you get an answer already?
she said no. She don't remember.
You're just saying that for the podcast.
It says no right there.
God dang it!
There's nope actually.
Oh man.
Oh, she wrote, "Do you?" No, I'm gonna put yes.
This is marriage of how long you been married?
22 years. It'll be 2003. No, it'll be 21, 22 in September.
So this is marriage of 20 years, just
Yeah,
messing with each other.
totally. But that's, yeah. No, we have fun. We do.
You have to.
Oh my gosh, you have to.
You have to, especially when you have kids, man.
Yeah.
So that's another topic I want to talk to you about. I wanted to first compliment you on raising two awesome, beautiful boys.
Thank you. Yes.
I have two beautiful boys. So I get to see sort of like through your family's life, like what I am going to have.
It's a lot of fun. It's great.
So as a father, what advice would you have, just off the top of your head, don't think too much about it, for raising two boys?
I never tried to really have something pre-planned, you know. I never said, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to, you know. I just sort of tried to do my best in the moment. And of course, Mason was the first one. So when situations would come up, and of course I had Missy, so we were always bouncing it off of each other, you know, like what would be the best for that particular situation. But just for me personally, as like a man raising a boy, you know, you really have the hindsight of looking back and seeing, because every situation that they come up with, you experienced in the past at some time in your life, you know, most of the time, like 99% of the time, because I was that age at one time, and we all lived the same life. I mean, whether it's, you know, 50 years later, 35 years later, the same situations with Mason and Madden come up that I went through. So it's a lot of fun for me to think about that, and then I get to give a really like honest opinion of what's happening and what's the best way to sort of go through it. And if I'm unsure, then I just tell them. And then sometimes we'll just sit and talk about it for a second. You know, I've said to Mason many times, you're my first. Like I'm not sure about this. Or Mace, sorry, you're my first. That yesterday I did it wrong. This is what I think I should have done. What do you think? You know? Just be honest. Definitely don't try to like just look like the super dad. Like, okay, me, you, there's how many million dads, okay? I'm just trying to be one to those two. So I'm just doing my best there. I don't need to be seen as anything super special. I'm just doing my best, because and I've told them both this. I think that's the best advice. Be extremely open and vocal as possible. Like I've told the boys, my job, okay, is just so they understand, or just so you understand where I'm coming from here. My job is to raise you guys to be good people. Okay, if you're a good person, you will surround yourself with good people. You will meet a good girl, and then you will marry a nice wife, and then you will raise good kids, and then you're going to have a nice life. I mean, that's the goal. That's my only goal. Everything else that comes with it is kind of bonus, but that is it. And that way they know exactly what my reasoning is behind just about everything that I ever say to them. If I, no matter what it is, they know why I'm saying that. This is the ultimate reason that I'm saying this right now, so that I raise good kids, you meet a good wife, you raise good kids. Do that. And please raise good kids, because I'm not taking a group of bratty assholes to Disney World, okay? Not doing it, But that's it. I mean, but I think you have to be a dad to sort of kind of understand that, and whether they're boys or girls, but doing it with boys is fun. I mean, it's very cool because they're boys. And I mean, other than that, like don't make it too complicated. That's just that.
So since I know them personally too, where or when, if you can share, when is a time that Mason and or Madden really messed up? Can you share a time, or is it too bad?
Really messed up.
Because you got two boys. I mean, boys get into trouble, and then how did you respond?
Wow. I mean, I'm trying to think of something, and
Because they're good boys. I mean,
they are good boys.
They
Yeah.
don't.
I mean, they've never.
I can already see Madden, like all the friends, all his friends are like
Madden-
doing something stupid. Madden be like, I don't know, guys, this is kind of stupid.
You couldn't be more correct.
Yeah, I know Madden very well, yeah.
What a special young man. He's they're both great. They've never been pulled over. I've never caught either one of them doing anything that I would have really ever been upset about. They're very vocal. They ask me, a lot about all kinds of stuff.
You can't think of anything. That's
Yeah,
okay.
I really can't. I mean, honestly, they went through like their 8th grade periods where like they're getting a little bit of an attitude, and like, one time I was super pissed at Mace, and I think he was mouthing off to his mother. Yeah, like that I don't tolerate. Whether you're right or wrong, you can't yell at her. Okay.
Yeah.
She's the most important thing in our entire world. Period. End of story. I don't care if she's wrong. You shut the fuck up and you take it. Okay, that's just that. Well, he was mouthing off a little bit, and I got really pissed. Like, I just snapped, and
That happens.
I was trying to get at him, and I was trying to get him running around the kitchen table, and he was trying to get away from me. And I mean, when they listen to this, they're
Did
gonna
they get
giggle.
spanked?
What's that?
Did they get spanked?
Yes. Oh yeah, when they were little. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I couldn't catch him. And I just gave up because cardio was shit, and I just couldn't get to him. I'm like,
Go to your room. Close the door.
I don't even remember what happened at the end. I think we all started laughing. Missy definitely was laughing because she's like, "You look like a gorilla or something." But like, no, they never, And even my brother asked me the other day, like, Mark, what do the boys still like bicker? They're almost 20 and 17, and my brother has he has a 10-year-old little girl, Alex, and Matthew's almost 14. And he's like, did the boys still bicker? I'm like, no, they never did, man. He goes, really?
That's interesting.
I'm like, no. And I was thinking about it one day. Like, they never, they never really just bickered.
We've probably heard my boys bickering upstairs. Like they bicker now. It's crazy.
They just don't, They've been very easy. I mean, they're great boys. I couldn't be prouder of them both, and they've just been a blessing to Missy and I. Period. Missy and I talking about it all the time. Oh, they're great kids.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, they don't pick up their clothes. Missy, if I have to pick up one more fucking sock off of the floor, and so I'm like, Mason, pick up your socks, man. Come on, buddy. But I mean, okay, if that's the worst that our lives get, I mean, we're doing pretty good, man.
One thing that I have been thinking about, and I could just be overthinking it because you kind of made it sound so simple a second ago. Can your dad be your friend?
Yeah, but I mean, of course, that's gonna shift back and forth.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to shift.
Yeah, and
Because I saw someone say, it was on a podcast, I think. Someone was like, you're the dad. You can't be their fucking friend. You're supposed to be their dad. And I was like, I don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that at all. And I think the easiest way to say it or describe it is this. I enjoy talking to the boys. Like, I love chit-chatting with them, Man will come home. Man, what's up? How's the game? How'd you feel at the plate? Like, what'd you and Maya do tonight? You guys play pickleball? I'm like, did you beat her or did you let her win? I love chatting with them. So, and who wouldn't? Why else did we have kids, Like, so I love...
Well, you get to relive your life in a sense.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to ask them about. And then I'll remember something that I didn't do as a kid or did or whatever the heck, and I ask them about that or, hey, you going to do this? Like, I wish I'd have done that. And so I love to talk with them. So that's fun. But then, if all of a sudden I need to shift into dad mode, okay, it's an easy transition because you already are a good communicator with them. So it's very easy to just like, hey, listen, I need to talk to you about something. It might be a little more important here than our normal banter. You got a second, and then we'll just chat it out. But if you don't talk to him on a regular basis, and then every conversation
if every
you
conversation
have,
is talking down as a father,
right?
then that's not a
okay,
good
that's not
relationship.
fun. No, that's not fun. I mean, so no, I don't agree with that guy. I see those guys on Instagram.
It's all a show.
I'm like, oh, dude,
You know.
grow some veins and then come back and talk to me.
Yeah.
Because they're all big and tough, big guys.
I get where the premise is coming from. Like you have to be a dad a lot of the time, and they have to respect you as a dad before you could be their friend. So I do agree with that. But if you do it right, it's like when I'm at the gym and I'm totally not myself. I'm trying to just rip some weight through the ceiling. I'm not going to bring that intensity to my conversation happening an hour later when I'm trying to sell a package.
That's a whole different scenario.
That's what I'm saying.
Totally different.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
it's like a flip switch.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to be your friend, and then something just went down. Okay, boys, get your little ass upstairs. I'm going to talk to you.
Yes, we need to have a chit chat here, and then, but then, how you address that chit chat? You can't just scream at them.
Right.
Explain it. Here's why I'm upset. Okay, you guys should not have done this. This is how I think you should have done it because of this. Well, just sit there and tell them because they don't know. Especially your little ones. I mean, how old are they? Like
4 and
5?
2.
Oh my God, they look bigger than that. Okay,
They're
so
big
therefore
boys.
they
Yeah.
know nothing. They know nothing except for this house, pretty much. And you and Kelsey.
And they're not going to remember this either. Me and Kelsey were just talking about that.
Right.
They're not even going to remember this house.
They probably will. This is the 4-year-old for sure. Will.
Yeah, Stevie probably.
Yeah,
will.
yeah. He'll have some deja vu of images and stuff. But they don't know anything. They're born and they are completely a blank slate, a white sheet of paper. And then you have to teach them how the world works. And I mean, now, one, how cool is that? It's almost, okay, one, you got to take that job very seriously, And two,
It's the best job in the world.
the best job in the world because you get to set them up for complete success if you choose. Some people don't choose to do that. And good luck to them. Good luck to their children. Not my problem, really. But I get to try to set those boys up for complete success. And I don't mean helicoptering and giving them everything. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in their mind, you've got the dedication, the knowledge, the idea that I can go and do this. I can do it. This is something I can do. This is something I want to do on my own. So because I see a path, I know it can be done, and I'm going to do it. And at the same time, if it doesn't work exactly like I thought, I can call Dad, and he's not going to yell because they know that now. Because no, I'm not going to. No, why would I yell if you're calling me for one? My whole day is waiting for
A
one.
call from you.
Yeah. Now I'm going to yell at them? Come on. But now they're calling you for advice, and they know they're going to get some advice. It may be what they want, might not be, might be something they didn't expect, whatever. It doesn't matter. But they still called, checked in, and now they're going to move forward again. What a neat idea. Your kids, if you don't teach them, they know nothing. They don't know not to scream in a restaurant until you tell them. They don't know not to smack their brother until you tell them. They don't know anything, until you tell them. So tell them and tell them all the right stuff. All the right stuff. Sometimes I feel like I'm just spewing at the mouth too much. I was in the kitchen, Mason and Madden and Little Maya were there, and
Shirtless, looking like a gorilla.
totally, yes, no, I have a back blade, so I'm nice and smooth, and so, and Maya was asking me about a piece of paper I had on the table. It was a lady had sent me all of her glucose monitor readings for the day for the past week, each screenshot, and then her food diary for the day. So once a week, her and I get together and we monitor, I take her food diary and her glucose monitor and we we
find the
see
correlations.
Yes,
and
and
the
then we make
contrast
changes.
and compare.
Yes, so that's my new thing at the office. So I've started doing that in the last, few months. So I have patients that once a week we get together and we do that. So she saw my little note sheet. Usually this lady and I get together at the office. She was camping and we just couldn't find a time, so we did it like basically over the phone. And she was asking me about that. So I was telling her about that, and I just started rambling about this or that. And then she asked me a question, and I just was
Just
talking
couldn't
and
stop.
talking and talking, and all of a
The
sudden,
train started moving.
oh my gosh, it wasn't moving. It was like Casey Jones speeding down the road, and Missy yells from the bedroom because it's like 9 o'clock. She's like, leave her alone. I'm like, sorry guys, I gotta go. But okay, so going back, like, yeah, just teach them. Like you can, they don't, everything you tell them is what they know now. So like, and even when they go off to school, like, the boys, they're out and about in the world, like seeing all kinds of stuff. And then they'll come home and we chat about that. If you choose to ask them how their day was, and then they start to open up and they say something, and then everybody puts in a little input. And now, like, we're such a chatty family, we just sit and bullshit about like, whatever, and it's great, like we can all four, like, we still love going on vacation, Or I mean, we always will. Like the four of us can go on vacation and we enjoy the plane ride, getting to the plane. We enjoy being on the beach,
Hey, you're one big team.
It's great. Like we still love going to Disney World. The boys we all still love going and I don't know if it's because of Disney or if it's just the fact that here we are, guys, four of us here again.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like,
Love
you
it.
can do anything.
Oh, anything.
It won't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I'm looking forward to like camping and like driving and like going. I want like a big fat RV. Put it in the or like a fifth wheel maybe.
Yeah.
Put it on the truck. Go disappear somewhere. And then we just hang out.
Cool. Totally. And it doesn't even matter what your thing is. As a family, just do it. Do it. Just go and do it. I mean, Missy and I, we've enjoyed everything, we really do. But we still love doing it together. I mean, it's a lot of fun for us.
That's awesome.
It is, man. I mean, it really is. We didn't get to go on vacation this year because Madden was varsity basketball and they do all their tournaments over Christmas. So, she's like, Mark, we don't get to go this year. I'm like, I know, we'll go, whenever. I don't even know when we'll go next, but I mean, we've been a lot, and I don't need to go every year.
Those sports take over your life.
It's been our summers for a long time. I mean, years and years.
Baseball itself has changed so much. Travel sports in general have just changed so much, and I think it's for the worse.
I do too. I don't know.
I understand why it happened, and I can see the positives of it, but I do believe that overall net negative.
It's, I think it depends on the player. The boys love baseball. They always have. They both love basketball. Madden loves it. He's really good at it. Mason still plays basketball down in Champaign with his buddies, all
Is
the
it
time.
U of I?
Yeah. And so they always love it. The boys love baseball. Madden had a fantastic year this, with the PR team, as a junior. Just really good. Great. His at-bats this year were great. Home runs, lots of RBIs. I mean, he really did really well.
Is Madden going to be a senior?
Yes, in high school. And in the travel ball is great because it's a very competitive way to play. It's, I mean, if I'm just being a super duper whiner, it's a lot of time and it's a lot of money, I mean, and I could say all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'll let you talk on this one.
I think
Well, you're not even there yet.
no. But I am in the world,
Yeah.
like my facility, and dads are bringing their kids in for the wrong reasons.
That's why I wanted you to do that.
Yeah.
Dads, okay, so if you have a 8-year-old, let's say, and you're thinking to yourself, like, I'm gonna relive my life and I'm gonna make this guy an MLB baseball player.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. First of all, you will have a good idea whether he's going to be a pro or not at 8 years. Like, do they have
For
the
sure.
natural ability?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then can you
knew it at 4.
Yeah,
When you see
you'll
them run.
see it. Yep.
When you see them run. I mean, because some kids run like they have cement in
You'll
their
know a
shoes.
lot. You won't know everything. Like, don't get me wrong. You can glow up.
Oh, yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can become an athlete,
Yeah.
but you can tell a lot by just the way a kid is running.
Totally.
Anyway, instead of paying $45, $50, $60 as a lesson for like hitting or paying someone like me.
Where are you getting lessons at? I'd like to do it there.
Okay, so $100 a lesson
I don't even know.
for I don't know. I don't know what it costs. I'm honestly just saying random numbers. Just rent the cage and throw to your kid.
I agree.
Or
And
get
yeah.
a bucket of baseballs. I mean, he's 8. He's going to hit it 50 feet.
Oh, we're still on 8-year-olds.
We're still on 8-year-olds.
Still on 8-year-olds, yeah. Or just go out in the driveway.
Just
Just go on the
hit
driveway.
Hit the plastic
My
balls.
most favorite thing to do when I was a kid was to play catch.
Yes.
It was one of my most favorite things to do, you know?
This ball. So, quick story. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, I love it.
But as we were setting up, I thought the ball hit me. So my dad passed away. I already mentioned that. Shortly after he passed away, I picked up my mitt and I opened it and I grabbed the ball and I almost threw the ball in the bucket and I was like, "This is the last ball that I played catch with my dad."
Oh, you got to keep it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep it.
Immediately, I ordered this thing, this
Yeah,
case.
you gotta keep
But that
it.
was like our favorite thing to do.
Loved playing catch. My brother and I would play catch all the time, you know, because we had this great big front yard, and then we made up dumb games with the baseball and the bat, and I mean, you know, it was ridiculous. But we had a good time. I love playing catch. So as soon as the boys were able to like put a mitt on, I was like, oh, I get a catch buddy, you know. So I taught them how to play catch. I mean, and I would stand there for hours, you know, and they'd be like, you know, just, and I would have them put the glove somewhere, and I just throw it right to the. But
like-
yeah, right. But eventually, like, they caught on very quickly, and so we would play catch, and then that turned them into wonderful baseball catchers and throwers. So when they started baseball at like 5 or 6 years old, like they could throw and catch the ball like a champion, and then, you know, I go to coach the other boys and I throw one to the kid and he just shuts his face and like turns away.
Takes
I'm
it
like,
in the shoulder.
I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like, dude, just catch the ball, you know? Then I'm like,
Well,
oh,
some
okay.
of those kids, it's their first catch.
First time ever. So we had a lot of fun, like, you know, playing ball, you know, when they were young. But I mean, that was one of my most favorite things to do. So still, like every once in a while, one of the boys will be like, "Dad, you want to play some catch?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." I don't think I've
dog in
ever
its bone, yeah.
ever said no to that. I don't know. It's just something about the ball hitting the mitt, you know.
We had a batting cage in our backyard,
Awesome.
and my dad never said no if I wanted to hit.
Never.
It was like 9 p.m. one night.
But you're
And-
right though. Like, just take your kid out and just do something. Do whatever.
At
you
that
know?
age.
Yeah,
at that age.
that age.
When it gets to the point where it's past your expertise, even before it's past your expertise, I do think it's important to sort of pass it on to someone else.
I enjoyed that moment. I coached the boys all through Little League, and I loved it. But I did it because it was fun for me. I loved being there with the boys. I was going to be there anyways. I might as well coach. Little League needed
Yeah.
coaches. They needed sponsors.
Right.
I'm like, well, what the heck, man? I'm going to be here anyways. So I enjoyed all that. But as soon as they got to, I think Mason was 11U, Madden was 9U, and then we moved them on to travel, you know. And it was like a local kind of, it was the Bombers back then. And
Grizzly Bombers.
the Bombers, yeah. But it was it was nice for me to kind of let them be, because one, I realized that these guys probably know baseball a little bit better than I do, you know, and two, I want them to, you know, I don't want to be their
Coach forever.
right. I want them to listen to somebody else. I want them to, you know, have
Well,
this
it's an
guy.
important skill to learn,
It
too.
is, yeah, absolutely, you know, and
It's
then it
different when
works.
your dad's your coach forever.
Yeah, because I didn't want them to think like, you know, I didn't want them to think that they could get and they never thought they could get whatever they wanted just because I was their dad, coaching. But I didn't want them to think they got whatever they were getting because I was their coach. I want them to, get what they get.
Earn it.
Yeah, know that hey, I'm playing good. That's why coach has me batting number 4. I'm glad for that. I feel good about that. If it was me coaching them, then they're like, well, is dad just putting me at 4 or blah, blah, So, and honestly, at that time in my life, the office was getting busier. I was not able to duck out at like 4 o'clock and get the bat bag ready and get early for the game and all that kind of stuff. It was really becoming like a tax on my time. Not that I didn't enjoy what I was doing, but I mean, I'm the only provider, so I really had to make sure that my business was. I had, you got to nurture it, otherwise it doesn't grow. So it was just nice timing, that all of that stuff worked out that way, and well, I forget where we were going with all that. We were talking about travel ball.
Being a coach versus being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed showing up I'm always like an inning or 2 late to the game, because like the high school games start at 4:30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'll be there. Probably second at bat. I'll be there second at bat,
Yeah.
And because he's always batting up in the order, so I always miss like the first at bat. But I'll be there for your second at bat. Or I watch on Game Changer. I can.
Yeah.
I get a nice feed on that. I was watching this game a little bit today while I had time. But that was fun for me. I enjoyed coaching all those years. It was a lot. But
It's good. It's nice to pass the baton, though.
Oh, it was great to pass the baton. Yeah. And now, like, I'm implementing this new service at work, so I'm going to be a little bit even
Busier.
But yeah, maybe. I haven't.
So this is brand new at work.
This is brand new for me. I haven't even introduced it in any real form. I haven't sent out an email to introduce it to patients. It's not on the website. I haven't introduced it in any sort of way. I've been obsessed with this for a couple years, and I, when Missy hears me talk about it so much, she's like, Mark, you should really do something like this at work. I'm like,
So what are you calling it exactly?
well, I don't know. I haven't
The
even
glucose monitor.
No, I'm not. I don't call it anything. But I said, well, what should I do? She's like, well, you could give like a seminar. I'm like, no, that would not. It just wouldn't interest me. Like getting up in front of.
No, you want the one-on-one. You thrive on this.
Yes.
You thrive on building relationships and having the one-to-one and having the ability to be yourself. Seminar, you can't really be yourself. You're
No.
up there and you're doing a PowerPoint.
Well, and then you're asking 200 people or however many are there to pick information out of the whole general discussion that you just had and implement it
it to their personal self.
Not going to work. Not going to work.
Glucose.
Not going to work. So
This is like a case-by-case thing.
And that's what I love about it, because, so if Missy's telling me, Mark, you should do something. I'm like, yeah, I know, I would love to, but I'm just not sure how. So then this lady came in about, I don't know, 2 months ago, and she was telling me all about her troubles with her sugar, and she was, she had her monitor. I said, well, show me your app. I'd never seen it. So she showed me her app.
That measures her sugars.
Saw her day that day. I said, well, what'd you have for breakfast here? She goes, well, I had this and this and this. And we went through her whole day. And I was like, okay, well, here's why I did this. And, that meal wasn't bad, but you should have changed the order. Don't just eat your sweet potato before your burger's already done cooking. Finish cooking a burger, eat the burger a little bit first, mix it all, you know what I mean? The order matters, all this kind of stuff. And then she left, and I was like, wow, that was kind of fun. And I'm like, oh man, that's it. That's it. I thought, okay. So then I called her the next day, and I said, hey, listen, would you like to do that weekly? I'd like you to, she said, like what we did yesterday? I'm like, yes. She goes, yes, a lot.
So it can be like my entrepreneurial mind is going. It could be like a food log something. I'm trying to think of a fun name for it.
I don't even, you pick one and I'll use it. I it was, so we've been working together for about
Well,
a
to
month
advertise
now.
it, it kind of needs a name, no?
I suppose I haven't really, see, this is how dull I am though. I haven't even like wondered what I would even call it. But so we've been working for a month and we get together once a week. She has her, it's amazing, Steve. Like she's so into it, you know. And now I've picked up another couple people.
You've just
and
added years to this life.
oh, absolutely. to
I
hers.
love. I've
Yes.
I've really enjoyed thinking of my work that way lately.
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't just given confidence to this kid. I haven't just helped this lady lose 5 pounds. I've literally giving them.
Yeah.
Okay, and I say that lightly because I didn't do it.
I wouldn't say it lightly. Oh,
No, I didn't
I
do
get
it.
what you're
though.
saying. Yeah,
I
you
didn't
didn't
do
do
it
it.
though. They signed up. They did it. I just I wrote the recipe. So it's like I that's my
okay.
favorite
So
analogy.
you're a part of it.
I'm a part of it. I'm a part of
yeah.
it. But I have a really big problem when trainers take 90% of the credit, whereas I think it's more like
Totally.
10.
50-50, whatever.
yeah,
Pick
whatever.
up what you
It's
want.
yeah.
I get it. And this lady is so, but that's part of the fun of it. Like knowing that it doesn't matter who did it, whether it's you or her. You guys are doing it together and it got done.
I agree.
That is like
It's a
the
team effort.
Yeah, because when her and I sit down, it's fun for us. Like she's like, okay, Dr. Mark, I did this and this, and I did this what you told me to last week, and it
I
worked.
really
and
enjoyed it. It
and she
worked, yeah.
liked it. And what's really neat about it is I don't. It's not a meal plan. I don't meal plan for her.
Mm-hmm.
I just have her write down what she ate, and then we might
You talk it
modify it a
over.
little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
and we look at her monitor. We look at what she ate. Okay, so maybe you should have taken a 10-minute walk after this one, okay? And then I explained to her why, because that's important, because she's just thinking, well, so my sugar went up and then he wants me to take a walk because exercise is good. Okay, exercise is good, but I'm going to explain to you that it's not just that exercise is good, it's that when your blood sugar goes up, now you're going to secrete insulin. And insulin right now is really your enemy because that's what's creating your metabolic disease, your insulin resistance. If you can eliminate some of the insulin you secrete during the day, now you start to downregulate your insulin receptors. You become more insulin sensitive. And by taking that walk after that meal, you didn't need the insulin to bring down your sugar. You kicked in the AMP kinase pathway, and that's an insulin independent pathway. You eliminated a whole section of your day where we talk about that, and then she gets it, and then she employs that walk, not because walking is healthy, it is, but because she knows right now she's trying not to use insulin. And she doesn't shoot insulin, but she doesn't even want her body to use its own because the less insulin she produces, because she's already insulin resistant, so her blood sugar is going to stay up just a tad, and she's going to secrete too much insulin just to begin with. So if she can eliminate that, her body starts to downregulate that insulin resistance very, very, very quickly, and she just gets healthy. The first time we met, we sat in my office. It was brand new to me. We met on a Sunday. Nobody else was there. I told Missy, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the office on Sunday. She couldn't meet on Saturday. She's like, yeah, fine. Nobody was there. It was just us. And we sat down and I said, okay, Miss So-and-so, I thank you for this. Because one, I'm really excited to do this. I want to take what you're showing me. We're really gonna make some neat changes here so that you get some. And she started to cry. She started crying. She's afraid of dying, and she started to cry, and it was such a neat moment for me. I was like, okay, yeah, she's invested. Like, and I said, do you need a tissue? So and she did. So
Big crybaby.
it was, and now we've been working at it. It was really neat for me, and so I really feel like this is going to be a whole section of healthcare that has to become. It has to be there in the next 10 or so years. Or because otherwise, doctors are out there telling patients to pump as much insulin as possible into yourself to keep your blood sugar down. But every time they shoot insulin, they become more insulin resistant. And it just furthers the problem.
Doctors suck.
I'll
say it.
I mean,
You're thinking it. I'm going to say it.
I wish that they would recognize that insulin is not the best treatment, okay? Or at least if they need it right now, try to employ other methods so that they can use less, you know?
They don't have any other method.
I don't think they do either. Yeah.
Their method is whatever the pharmaceutical companies tell them to do.
I know.
It's a constant cycle. The OxyContin. There's a whole show on Hulu.
How about right
of
now?
the pharmaceutical doctor playbook relationship correlation. It's there. Like it's well known. The doctor pharmaceutical relationship. COVID was a whole thing that just put it on display again. The doctors don't change your diet.
No. But that would fix
Almost all of it.
and that's what's so neat to me. Like, I have not told this lady to really, or this other guy, you know, Kevin, he's doing really good. I've not told them to change what they eat. They bring in, and what's neat to me, it's kind of opened my eyes to the idea that, like, she has snacks. Like, she loves this snack of celery and almond butter. Okay? Like real, like natural almond butter. She loves it.
Sounds good.
And I would never
Take it.
I would never think to say, "Hey, you should try some celery and almond butter," because I would never even consider that. But boy, when she has that with her like for a snack, her blood sugar stays completely flat. It doesn't bother her one bit, you know. But when she has other foods, it tends to bump a little bit. So I tell her, "Hey, listen, okay, right there, like." Okay,
You should
bumps
have the
are
celery and almond butter
yeah,
instead.
yeah. Just simple. I don't change what she eats. That's the neat thing to me. And I realize like people don't have to revamp or resent what they're going to eat in order to fix their metabolic condition, prediabetes, diabetes, call it what you want. They don't have to change much or resent it. They just have to learn a little bit more about it so they can manage it better and they will get healthy. Like they will get healthy. You will lose weight, your metabolic syndrome will go down, and you basically will now eliminate any kind of risk of cardiovascular disease, neurocognitive, dysfunction, liver dysfunction, fatty muscle cells. I mean, all of these things are real and they happen way more than what anybody thinks. I forget who said that 2/3. They're estimating that even 85% of Americans, okay, and this was like, I think 18 and above, are insulin resistant. Okay, like that's really bad. I mean,
Really bad.
that's a lot of people.
And that correlates directly with the obesity crisis.
Oh my God, it's just not even correlated. It's a causative factor.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, one, you don't get one
When I
without
say
the
correlated,
other.
I just mean like if we
it's
looked
there.
at it, it would just be a parallel.
Well, I mean, think about it. Insulin resistance, you have too much sugar floating around in your cells. I mean, you create, adipose hypertrophy because of the insulin resistance and the fact that people they just overeat. Now their body's overwhelmed. Mitochondria is completely overwhelmed, and we have nothing left to do but store triglycerides. I mean, that's just that. And then those cells have to become larger because everybody has a certain amount of triglyceride cells they can store. So now those individual cells have to hypertrophy. And in order to do that, they have to talk to each other. So they release cytokines and interleukin-6, and then that flows through the bloodstream trying to tell the other.
You have certainly been reading about this for
Steve,
2
I could go
years
on
at least.
forever. And then those cytokines flow through the bloodstream. The blood vessels are lined with glycocalyx, and that the cytokines eat away at that. It's almost like a lining in your stomach. You have that mucus layer that keeps it from the acid. Well, the blood vessels have the same thing. The glycocalyx gets eaten away, and then all of a sudden you have exposed endothelium. And because you're insulin resistant, you have too much LDLs. They start to collect. Macrophages come up, foamy macrophages. Plaquing.
List goes on.
Oh my gosh, But as soon as you become less insulin resistant, it all reverses exactly in the way that it happened. Your liver is less insulin resistant, therefore it doesn't produce as many LDLs. It starts to produce more HDLs. The HDLs want to soak up any spare little lipo A and lipo B cholesterols floating around, and that's what are mostly making up those the plaques inside your blood vessel. So they come over there and start to like just basically pull it away. So now they're scrubbing the plaque off of your endothelium. It clears itself. The glycocalyx fixes itself, and it's all done.
So, taking everything that you said,
Evolution.
tons of words, tons of information being thrown like that. If a 10-year-old says, how can I reverse my insulin sensitivity? How would you do it?
Just move, buddy. Just move. Just move. Go run. Go walk. Go play. Anything.
The beautiful balance of eating right and everything.
And eating right doesn't have to even be that
Perfect.
No, not at all. I'm constant. I hate to keep repeating the boys, but they're like my life, so that's all that I really know. But I'm always telling the boys, like, guys, quality protein, because they want to get big, they want to put on some mass, they go to the gym, and they know now. They don't even ask me, Steve. Like, I don't even have to tell them anything, but they know quality protein first. Whatever carb you get, fine.
Is whey protein like a supplement powder? Is that a quality protein in your mind?
No.
Thank you. Oh,
No.
God, I actually thought you were going to say.
I can't even say no with enough.
Because I thought we were about to debate.
No, I can't even say no with enough infection. Like, no, it is not.
I feel like you've changed on that, though.
I definitely have changed on that.
Because
yes.
I remember when we were lifting, you were like, "Oh, it's the same thing," and I'm like, "No, it's not."
No, I've.
I remember challenging you once a little bit. We didn't like get into it or anything, but I remember thinking like,
No.
"This guy's drinking protein shakes that much?"
Yeah, definitely. Well, okay. So I remember that like phase of my life, and I remember one day, I don't remember why or when or whatever, but one day I was like, I'm drinking I'm not eating enough food. I should be bigger. I'm training hard.
Because I remember thinking that too. I'm like, wait, because I think you told me you were like taking like 2 shakes a day or something like
it
that.
might have even been more. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I should be bigger. I should be bigger. I'm training hard. I'm eating, and then I was like, maybe these protein shakes just aren't working. So
They aren't.
They weren't. They definitely weren't. So
You're absorbing like 4% of that shake or
and I
something.
don't
Like
even
there
know
was some
that,
sort of study.
Yeah. And then I just started replacing everything with food. Food. But the boys and I rarely take. We keep Fairlifes in the house because they're easy and quick.
And they taste
good. Yeah, whatever. And I think milk protein is a fine source.
I think milk is very good for you.
I do too. Yes. But real food wins. I tell patients that, like sometimes my patients will bring in their son who's like 16, 17. You can tell he's trying to lift. He's, got a decent little physique going, but he's still pretty scrawny. And I ask him, like, how big you want to get, and he's just like, oh, I don't know. Like, why is this big ball?
No, how big you want to get?
Yeah, I'm like, as big as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to eat. You got to eat. So, no, I don't think protein shakes win at all. They're a huge moneymaker. Huge moneymaker.
That's the first thing guys will tell me. And like, because, we harp on it at the gym. We're like, dude, you are killing yourself in here. You're working your ass off and you are not feeling yourself right. And the first thing they say is, well, dude, I had a big protein shake this morning. I'm like, okay, so you had a cup of water.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Well, then
you're digesting some of it. You're absorbing some of it, but it's not that it's not a lot.
It's not even like, one, yes, you're right. It's not quality. But two, the body didn't evolve on whey powder. It evolved on real food.
Raw bison.
Yes. And the time that it took to chew it, the time that it took to digest it. Our body evolved on the amount of time it took to digest it and put it into the small intestine. It didn't just get rushed in there all at once. The body didn't evolve on
and if you think of it from a digestion standpoint, I mean, liquid just flows right through you, man.
Right through you, yeah.
Whereas like meat and food, not even meat, but like a broccoli flower, it's got to go in, it's got to get chewed. That's the initial digestion process, and then it's collected throughout the body and it's absorbed.
Love it.
Versus milk, not even milk,
liquid
whey protein powder, just right out.
Right out. The boys and I,
$80, just
like that, man. I mean, you're right. And real food wins every single time. The boys and I are convinced of it, and that's just it. I mean, period. Like, if you want to put on some muscle. Oh, so I stopped eating all that. I stopped drinking away, changed my entire day, replaced it with all meat.
Yeah. So what results did you see?
I got bigger. Yes, and it was fucking awesome. And I was like, there's the proof right there.
Yeah.
There's the proof, and then so I just continue all the time. I just, my diet is, my meals and I are very intimate, and I like it, I mean, I'm not super anal. I mean, to me, somebody else might say that I am.
You're probably anal to the average person.
For sure.
Yeah.
Probably to the point of they think I'm weird. But I don't
100%.
100% weird.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no doubt the average person thinks you are weird.
But I don't care because I love it.
Yeah.
And it works. And it works. So like, okay. Well, I had a thought when you were talking about like the kid in your gym. Not only is he killing him, he's working out hard. He's training. He is doing what he needs to do in there to get big because he wants to get big. He wants to look like Skeletor. Awesome.
Who's Skeletor? You keep saying
Skeletor, He-Man, the blue guy on He-Man.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
What's that guy's? You're gonna Google it,
Yeah,
right?
but-
Isn't that your job? Get Skeletor. Get
You kept saying
Skeletor.
skeleton. You've referenced it a couple times.
Well,
now
I'm
I have to see
52,
it.
so like that was my
He-Man,
cartoon.
blue guy, Skeletor.
Do you ever watch He-Man? You remember He-Man?
I'm 34.
Skeletor.
Oh,
Yeah, look at the pipes on that dude, man.
Okay.
I guess he doesn't look as good as I remember. There his abs.
No,
look
no,
nice.
he's shredded.
He's pretty dialed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see him.
nice.
I mean, he's on a lot of like memes for me, but I never watched
But that
the
was
show.
Okay, but Steve, what are you like 35?
34.
Whatever. I'm 52. So like this was the cartoon when I was a kid.
Yes. Like I see that meme all the time.
That was Skeletor.
Yeah,
So like that's
okay,
I
all
remember seeing Skeletor and I was
But-
like,
but-
dang, look at
You
that,
kept saying
man.
Skeletor, and I'm like, skeleton, Skeletor. That doesn't sound jacked. But now I
Skeletor,
get it. Yeah. Okay.
So like that boy wants to look like Skeletor, obviously. So he needs to
But
eat.
he's thinking not Skeletor because he's like
He's big,
15.
big Ron.
Yeah.
Which is fine too. Like he looked better than Skeletor.
Yeah.
And so not only does he need to eat that food, not the shake, but real food to put on the size, to do that. But if he's training on a regular basis and not eating properly, now he's risking injury because he needs to repair all that tissue before he comes back, puts strain through those ligaments and tendons, and wants to try to do it all over again without properly repairing that.
That's
so
what
recovery is everything. You got to eat, you got to
Well, because
sleep.
that's what working out is. It's ripping your muscle.
Totally. And if you don't repair it, now the next time it's just going to
It goes like this, and then it gets a little bigger.
Kaflooey.
And then it goes like this, and
And
gets a
I
little
don't think people realize, like, in today's society, we talk about protein, and immediately people go to like muscle mass, which is true. It is, but it's also.
But that's not necessarily what's fueling the process.
Oh no. You need some carbs. You need sugar. You need food for that. But like, your entire body, everything that I can physically see here is made up of amino acids. It's not made up of sugar. It's made up of protein. Everything, and even right down to like the receptors on your cells, the sodium potassium channel pumps. When you go through autophagy, and for anybody that doesn't know autophagy that's listening, that's when your cells
Repairing themselves.
Yes, they actually break down the little organelles, lysosomes, endoplasm,
And they'll actually
reticulum,
attack
mitochondria.
the weak cells, the
Yes,
dead cells,
yes,
the sick cells, the cancer cells. Like,
Now we're really getting to something there, And you can stimulate autophagy, not with just fasting, but putting your body through a strain. And I don't care whether you're that little 5-year-old playing in the backyard or whether you're us at your gym, that strain for both of those people produces autophagy. And
that
that's
chair tends to stick.
That's
sorry.
okay. No, I locked it right
That
there.
scared you.
So that's repairing the body. But now to do that, to repair with autophagy, requires protein. It requires, you will recycle some of those parts and use them for new organelles, but you still need some amino acids to allow that to replace.
Which you can get all of those amino acids, all of that protein, everything your body needs through real food.
Real
you
food.
You don't need
real
supplements.
Food. Real food. Especially eggs.
Especially eggs.
And
That's a
eggs
superfood.
Eggs don't give you high cholesterol.
No. And
Okay,
I
they
honestly
don't.
think the cholesterol debate is just stupid because, especially like eggs. Let's talk about eggs. The amount of nutrients in that yolk.
All the choline. I mean, it is.
So many nutrients.
Yeah, it's a superfood.
And we're like, oh, we should only eat egg whites. I'm like, no, give me more yolks.
Yes, especially first thing in the morning, because that's when men want to produce all their testosterone. Give me some egg yolks, man. I need that cholesterol. I mean, I'm 52. I need any little advantage I can to try to, to still do what I enjoy doing every morning and go into the gym. I mean, I love it. And I love training hard and heavy. I like lifting heavy weights. I like doing I love it all.
I think if we go back to the whole man thing, I think every man would love it.
For sure. For sure.
I think it's just in them. There are definitely some men who can go without it or whatever, but
I suppose. But I mean, is it because you just haven't been there and had a little taste of it? And because boy, if you had a taste of it, man, you don't want to go back. You just don't. I mean, I hate to sound. I'm not trying to sound arrogant.
you sound so toxically masculine.
Well, but it's true though. It's true.
I think it's in our DNA.
It is, and then
We are the hunters.
100% evolutionarily, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And why everybody doesn't do it, I don't know.
There's a stigma on it for sure now. I mean, societally, we don't have to get into the politics talk, but it's funny how, conspiracy theorists and raw milk drinkers, and we've been conditioned to think that working out and being a man is like Republican now. Have you seen that stuff?
I have, and I mean a little bit, and I think
It's like bad.
okay.
Oh, you're Republican and you're also a Nazi. Did you know? Oh, did you know that? Did you see those articles?
Yeah, I saw that too.
If you work out and you promote health, you're a Nazi or something like that.
I don't even entertain that kind of shit for 1 second because it's so petty to me, and anything petty, this is going to sound terrible, is just beneath me. And I don't even engage. I don't even consider it. It's dumb. Mm-hmm. Those kind of thoughts are dumb. That men that want to be masculine is actually like racist or okay.
Well, and these people that say, "Oh, I don't want a masculine man," are the same people that said, "Listen, like if I went to you and I'm like, your life depends on this." Let's use a better example. Someone runs in your house. Is the man going to fight him? Mm-hmm. Or is the woman going to fight him?
Right.
And then is the man going to have a better chance of winning if he's a little more toxically masculine?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Or these really rich, the Hollywood celebrities, the politicians, they're all protected by big, toxic, masculine men with guns.
That look like Skeletor.
That look like Skeletor.
I mean, that's such an easy topic to just blow right
Destroy.
by because it's just kind of dumb. Honestly, I think shit like that is just what people throw out on social media to get likes, and they do it for the wow factor. Oh, look what this person wrote. Wow, they're really.
I also think it's to justify their poor decisions.
Yes.
Because
yeah,
for sure.
Well, yeah,
It's like, okay, this is oh man, this drives me nuts. Yeah, this is good.
It's gonna be a good one.
So someone we both know. I'll tell you when the show is done.
Trouble? Okay.
No, someone we both know. I'll tell you when the show's done. I happened to walk by and I was like, hey, like, why don't you work out? And he basically said, "Oh, I actually don't care at all, like what I look like." And I'm like, "You don't care at all?" And he's overweight. I'm like, "You don't care at all?" And he's like, "No, like I don't care." And I was like, "Do you swim in the pool with your shirt on?" He's like, "Why does that matter?" I'm like, "Well, do you care if your shirt is on or off when you swim?" And I indirectly found out that this guy swims with his shirt on. And anyways, where I'm getting at is if I gave this guy a button and I was like, "If you touch this button, you'll be ripped and jacked, but you got to pay like $5,000." He would smack the shit out of that button.
Probably in for 20.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if you put a price on like, I'll be ripped, jacked, tan tomorrow, hit that button, that price would be high and dudes would do it in a heartbeat.
How about ladies?
But in our conversation, he was like, "No, I really don't care. Like, it really doesn't matter to me." I'm like, "You're such a liar. You're just lying because it makes you it makes you feel better about your decision. So you're pretending that you don't care so that you can be comfortable while you're fat, out of shape, and you're not happy with how you look when you take your shirt off in the mirror." I gladly brush my teeth like this because I've worked for it. Whereas you brush your teeth with the lights off because you don't want to see it.
I brush my teeth with the lights off. They make the bathroom
You
hot.
know what I'm saying, damn it.
I do
Oh,
know
it changes the lighting. It's more Skeletor where it's the lights off and I got the bathroom lighting in the
It gets real
background.
hot in there, and then Maddie comes in and flips them on. I'm like,
Yeah.
ah!
Yeah. But you get where I'm saying.
I totally
though.
get what you're saying. And
I can't stand people that pretend. Like just own it. Be like, "Yeah, I got too fat, and you know what? I'm a little too far off, and I don't want to put the effort in."
That's a tough one.
It's really hard pill to swallow.
That's a tough one, yeah. And I know what you're saying. It's hard for me to really elaborate on that one in like, this kind of, spot. But I think everybody once they start a workout routine, no matter who they are, what condition they're in, no matter what,
Amazing.
they always feel better.
Oh yeah.
They always feel better. And okay, so when I was driving here, just a little bit ago, I was coming up, one of the roads there, Bull Valley, by the hospital on the side, and there's a little walking path there that you can get over, like towards Prime Parkway on, and there was a family taking a walk, and they were all a little heavy, but they were out taking a walk, and I didn't catch my eye because they're heavy, it caught my eye because I thought, okay.
Awesome. They're all taking a walk.
Yeah, they're taking a walk.
Oh,
They probably just ate. I mean, I went through it all in my head. They probably just ate. Now they're lowering their blood sugar with AMP kinase and not insulin.
You freaking nerd.
I know, but I couldn't help. But in my mind, I was like,
"No, it's awesome.
Good for them," because like they don't have to be super thin to be healthy on the inside. Like they're making their body healthier right this very second. And it's so neat to me that the body responds that quickly in the moment. Like they're all getting healthier just from that walk, and maybe this walk turns into the walk tomorrow, and maybe one of them has a CGM on, a monitor, and they're seeing that their sugar went down, and they're saying, "Hey, listen, honey," like talking to her daughter who she'd like to lose weight too. "We're going to go for a walk after dinner tomorrow since school's out." And then they do this every single day, and then they see results, and then one of them gets online, they're like, "What can I have better for breakfast?" And then they get a suggestion.
It's snowball.
It does. I mean, and that went through my head the whole time, from them to like turning onto your road, and then I had to watch my phone to make sure I made it to your place.
And I want to say too, I honestly don't really care what people think I'm trying to say, but I want to say that I'm not against. Okay, I'm against people being fat. I'm against people being overweight. But if it happens, I totally understand that it happens. And I have crazy sympathy because we know how society is now. There's McDonald's on every corner. There's junk food. The grocery store is made for you to grab the donuts. Right when you walk in a Meijer, when you walk in Walmart, what do you see first? You see the donuts.
I know.
You see the next holiday's colors in cookies.
Totally.
Right when you walk in.
4th of July,
Society
red, white, and blue.
makes it so hard.
So hard. Because
So I understand and I sympathize.
I do too. And life is busy and difficult and stressful. Like some people don't have, like I have a wonderful family, 3 healthy people at home, healthy myself.
A privilege.
Yes, I suppose.
You're privileged in a way.
Yeah. And I don't worry about like, things that a lot of people worry about. They have people at home that are sick with things that are not going to be cured tomorrow. And their lives are stressful. And I get it. I really do. And
Not everyone's been given a great hand.
yes, I mean, I live 3 minutes from my office. I go home for lunch. Missy and I sit
I live
there.
4 minutes from the gym.
Yeah, it's great. I go home. Missy and I sit at lunch every day, and I love it.
You've got a good, comfortable life with a routine, but I will
Yeah.
also say you did that. You built that.
Agreed. Yeah.
And because I hate when people are like, well, you own a gym. I'm like, yeah, a gym that I built.
Oh my God, Steve, I think about I mean, I graduated school. And I'm not giving you the whole JD I'm not doing the Mark Elegy thing here or anything like that. Because what I did was not unique, impossible, really all that hard, nothing, okay? But it took some work and it was stressful.
But you did it.
I did it. And, all within a year, Missy and I had Mason, opened up the practice in Crystal Lake and bought the house up in Crystal Lake.
Crazy.
Wow. You want to talk about stressful. I could have lived off my stomach acid. It was, I was stressed out, man.
Yeah.
I had little Mason at home. I had Missy,
Yeah.
and we had just bought a house, and I had opened a practice, and I didn't have hardly any patients, and I was teaching 4 classes a semester at COD and CLC every morning and every evening, Monday through Thursday, just to make sure the bills got paid, And
You got to do what you got to do.
you just do it. You just do it. And I didn't need a fucking gold star. I didn't ask for anything. I just did it because I just did it, And I didn't even know what I was doing. Sometimes I look back and I think it was just young and didn't really think it through all the way and just did it anyways. I don't know. But I'm glad I did it because it turned out really well. And I like where I'm at right now a ton. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, And but yes, it's people that say, "Oh yeah, you own a gym," Well, okay, someone didn't give it to me.
You got access to like 70 different gyms. There's so many gyms now. And you can pick what kind of gym you want. If you want the soft, cushy piece of shit gym where you can eat Tootsie Rolls and donuts, it's Planet Fitness right down the road.
You got a beautiful niche. I've always thought that. You got a beautiful atmosphere for it. I always thought when the boys were starting with you, it was great. Their buddies were there. It was a great atmosphere. It was it couldn't have been better. Seriously. It was a perfect atmosphere. You were a perfect coach for them.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. It was a perfect time for them. Their friends are there. There's some girls. And I mean, it couldn't have been better. And so I just sent Pasco, over to you. Ethan, Ethan
Pasco.
His mom, blonde-haired lady, probably came in with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, Amy, Ethan, he wants to live. You got to take him up to Steve's,
Yeah.
Got to take him up to Steve's. And so she told me, he came home, and I guess the next morning he had steak for breakfast. She texted me, Mark, eating steak for breakfast.
Yeah.
Never cooked steak for breakfast before, But that's it. That's the niche that you were after, and you got it. And it works for all of those, all of those kids. And little Ethan, he's just gonna lift weights and get big now, or do better at a sport, whatever, I mean, he probably had steak instead of a cereal. I mean, there it is right there.
I just got goosebumps.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
It's awesome. I mean, it really is neat. That's how I feel just in general, it works sometimes. This new thing for me is really going to be fun for me to announce and see if I get, I'm going to send out
This
an
can
email.
be kind of your announcement.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess it is. I mean, I'm gonna send.
Well, because once we, finish the podcast and Alex gets it cranked out and it's official on all our platforms, you can just make an announcement and say, "Hey, we got this new thing," and
Beautiful.
shoot it out in
Yeah.
your email.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Check
I can
out
link
this podcast
I
also.
can link it. Yes. That's going to be the announcement right there. Then.
And then people are going to be listening to this episode and they'll be like, "Okay, now I got to check out Mark's."
Well, there are so many people out there that need to just learn a little bit about, my mom, like her and I. We were just texting. She was texting me on the way here. She's been diabetic her whole life. She's been up and down. She just, she struggles with it. But she knows this stuff nearly as good as I do. She doesn't know AMP kinase and all these fancy terms, but she understands the nuts and bolts of it well enough that she doesn't need to ask me questions. And sometimes I send her like the little screenshots of what people send to me because she can read them all as good as I can, and she just gets a kick out of it. But she'll even text me questions about this and that. But people just don't know enough. And if they learned a little bit, they could really, otherwise,
I think
what are we going to do? We're never going to be able to afford to treat all these people that are going to come down with all that. Where are we going to come up with the money? What happens when the workforce...
We'll just start giving out more food stamps and...
With what? I know I'm going off the deep end, but like, what happens when the workforce is too metabolically unhealthy to actually have enough in the workforce? Yeah. I mean, that's how Madden ended his paper. Like, what happens?
Just like apocalyptic.
That's it. That's pretty much it.
We'll have no more strong men to make the oil rigs go round.
Wally.
Yeah, Wally.
It's
a great movie, like, honestly.
I'd love to talk to the guy that wrote it and ask him, like, dude, your sense of humor is like...
It's got to be good.
Almost as good as the guy that writes SpongeBob SquarePants.
You like SpongeBob?
Well, when the boys,
SpongeBob,
were that age, we watched
it was very adult.
It was super adult.
It had so many fun adult jokes in it.
We used to sit there and laugh at it all the time.
That's amazing. Kelsey hates SpongeBob.
I love SpongeBob.
But I'm glad that you and your wife could watch it together because whenever I watch it, Kelsey's got to go in another room.
Well, we don't watch it now.
No, but it was on.
Back then, we would just sit with the boys,
If it's like Fridays are always Daddy Day, we usually kick it off with like a show in my bed.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
what a great time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Just laying in bed watching some TV.
What was your favorite age with the boys? Or maybe it's now.
I'm going to say now, just because I'm in.
You get to be men
now.
Yeah,
just because I'm in now.
Yeah.
I mean, every phase.
Every phase is different.
Every phase is different. Every little piece of this or that I enjoyed. I enjoyed like your kids up there. That was a fun time for me. I mean, they were
4 and 2.
They were
because they're 3 years apart.
They're just 2.5 age-wise. 3 years in school. So, but they're just right there in the house. They're here their whole life. Their mom and dad's their whole life. Their house is their whole life. It's just awesome to me. Mm-hmm. I'd come home and they're just running around the kitchen. Missy's like, oh my God. And it just was cool. They're in the pajamas. They wore to bed that night, because it's wintertime and you don't go outside all that much, And it's just so neat to me and they look all comfy and cozy in their house and they're enjoying their day and they have a toy in their hand and they're just doing their thing,
Not a care in the world.
Not a care in the world, But then they grow up and they get to live in like this neat world that we live in. And you
get to teach them about it.
Yeah, and if you have the right attitude, like the world is really cool. I mean, you got to open your eyes and take a look around, It is awesome. I mean, we could nitpick about, the Middle East and all the politics and all that kind of shit.
Potentially World War
III. Whatever. But man, the boys and I and Missy, we sit in deck and, we're all eating our little, fudge sickle from Sam's Club that only has 90 calories in it. And we're just like, this is just, it's
the best.
It's great. Just sitting there. We got the little fire pit going. Mason's got some Grateful Dead going on his speaker, and I'm just loving life right there, you know? So, I mean, every little phase, you know, just like I was saying, like you just took your family down to Mexico. Okay.
Well, it's just me and the wife from Mexico.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Same thing. You're looking at your wife there in Mexico, and you did that, you know, you did that. You brought her here, you know. I mean, you know, and I mean, a lot of people do it, but like you just for yourself sitting there thinking, look what we get to do. Because not a lot of people get to do that.
Oh man, we appreciated that.
Totally. Yes. I mean, we've been standing on the beach, Punta Cana, and boys.
You guys go to the same place, right?
We did. We went. We.
I
tried,
remember Madden telling me that. You
yeah,
guys
we
have
went
like
to
the
this
same
one
resort.
place every time. But it was so nice. I mean, Missy would say, Mark, should we try somewhere different? I'm like, why? I don't know what different is really going to do. We love the beach there. The water's nice and clear. All the amenities are nice. It's a small place. The boys know where everything is, you know. Like after a few years of going to the same place, like they knew where the bathrooms were. They knew how to get back to the room if they needed something. They just grabbed the key card. You know, Madden would just wander off. He's like 11, and all of a sudden I see him come back, and he's got like, you know, a little like
A Virgin Mai Tai.
yeah, a little what do they call it, dirty monkey or whatever the heck, you know. And he's just like, hey, Dad, you know, and it was great. I mean, but
cool.
But you sit back and you look at your family there on the beach. You're like, wow, this is really something neat,
cool.
you know.
Yeah. Where are we at, Alex?
2 hours.
Oh wow.
What time is it?
When did you give me? You're supposed to tell me when we hit the hour.
Yeah,
and a
you
half.
guys, I don't want to ruin it.
It was going
We
well.
hit an hour
That
and
was-
a half,
yeah.
like right when you
Wow,
started hitting
that's-
the metabolic
that's-
disease.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wrap it up. We always end the show. I mean, I guess we can go a couple different angles. So I'm just going to ask you blanket statement generally. What advice would you give to someone trying to get in better shape? Trying to change their life?
Without knowing anything about them, like if they're anything at all, just start. Just start. Don't think you have to be killing it, or because you're going to get hurt probably. You don't have to kill it. Start to move a little bit more. Pick something that you like to do. If you like to walk, if you like to jog, if you like to just do some calisthenics and little hit things in your garage or I don't get your heart rate up somehow, okay? Ask a friend to go walk, ask your husband or spouse, whatever. Start doing something that you enjoy and then try to clean up your eating a little bit. And by cleaning it up, I mean, if it's really, really bad, the person knows it. So just, you know, I mean, it's funny to think like what even really bad is because I know there's people out there that just eat like goldfish and wash it down with Mountain Dew all day.
And ramen.
Right. Okay. So you got to make some changes there. Google it. Read about some changes. Try to implement something very, very basic. Don't go so overwhelmingly over the top that you resent it or that you make it so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know and Googling it doesn't help, ask somebody that you think does. Somebody you know does. Don't be afraid to ask. Patients ask me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I would ever do is like answer them in a way that makes me seem better than them because they know that I know because I obviously do it. No, I'm just going to tell them the same answer, just very, very simply, you know, just ask somebody, start. Everybody wants to, they just don't know how to do it. So just find a way, very, very simple. And then, it just builds on itself.
I agree. Beautifully said.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Well, everyone, we didn't talk about chiropractic very much, but if you ever need a chiropractor, highly recommend Mark.
Happy to help, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, can you adjust me before you go?
Sure. Not on camera, though.
Yeah, no, not on camera. All right. Thank you for coming. This
Thank
has
you
been
for
awesome.
having me. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
that a lot.
Ha 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 ha!